Italy has tracked me down in the heart of Asunción, Paraguay, accusing me of evading taxes.
Ah, that must be the sushi delivery, but wait, the box looks pretty weird. Hey, let's go and find out what's inside there.
That's right. I thought it would have never happened, but I just received a notification from Italy accusing me of evading taxes for fiscal year 2019, which was my first full year of tax residency in Paraguay. In this video, I will tell you exactly what happened, how they tracked me down, and how you can prevent the same thing from happening to you. One of the most common misconceptions about taxation is that tax authorities focus only on big fish, leaving small taxpayers alone. For 2018, I declared a total of just 42,000 euros in gross income. Definitely not enough to have a yacht moored in Monte Carlo. And yet, as you can see from this bundle of papers, I was still subject to a tax audit and fined. All this despite the fact that I had moved to Paraguay, a country that is absolutely not on any blacklist or grey list and is considered perfectly harmless by the Italian tax authority. If I had moved to Panama or Dubai, this audit probably would have arrived much earlier and much more thorough. The second misconception I want to correct with this video is the belief that if for 1 or 2 years you got away with a wrong tax setup, it doesn't mean that you won't have to face the consequences later. Tax authorities are typically 4 to 6 years behind in reviewing returns. Are you one of those people lounging by the pool thinking you're safe from a tax audit? If you're one of those people who deregistered your residency from one country without registering it in another, who opened an LLC and didn't declare income in your country of residency, or who simply pretends that you can be a tax resident of Nowhereville while you relax by the pool, the tax authorities will find you and you will have to pay everything you didn't pay before and much more. You simply don't know yet.
There is a very specific reason why it's actually advantageous for tax authorities to be a few years behind in audits, purely from an economic point of view. When you're fined for not paying taxes you should have paid, the amount you owe is determined by 3 factors. First, the amount of unpaid taxes themselves. Second, the fine, which is an extra percentage that gets applied to the unpaid taxes, and then interest, which is calculated for every year of delay in payment. In every country in the world, after a certain amount of time, unpaid taxes become time-barred. That means that there comes a point when the tax authority can no longer demand the unpaid amounts because the legal deadline for notifying you has passed. In Italy, this limit is 10 years for income tax. In the UK, it's 4 years. In France and Canada, it ranges from 3 to 10 years depending on the case. In Australia, it's 4 years, in Brazil, 5 years. For each year that passes, interest increases. So there's no incentive for them to be quick in notifying taxpayers, and on the contrary, there is a clear incentive to delay notification as long as possible, without, of course, exceeding the statute of limitations. After this important introduction, I want to walk you through the moment I received this notice from the Italian Tax Revenue Agency. Sending ID cards, the cedulas, to our clients in Europe has taught me that shipping costs are at least 60 euros, not counting the work to prepare the package. So the Italian deficit increased by 17 euros after sending me this payment notice, and for that I want to give a big round of applause to our tax authority. The next day I called Italy Pathways, aka my mom, partly because she was the CFO of a large multinational company for many years and after retiring taught me much of what I know now about accounting. So she was the ideal person to investigate the matter, and partly because she's my mom, and mama is always right. Always. What they are contesting is an incorrect depreciation. In short, when I still had my sole proprietorship in Italy, I bought a tablet. Since the price was over 500 euros, I couldn't deduct the entire cost from the 2019 tax return. It had to be depreciated over the following years. I got the number of years wrong and therefore evaded a whopping 26 euros in taxes, which became 43 euros once fines and interest were added. So it has absolutely nothing to do with moving my tax residency to Paraguay or the legitimacy of my residency for that year. In fact, in 2019 I was still a digital nomad and barely spent any time in Paraguay, apart from the minimum required to get residency before traveling again. On that point, they raised absolutely no objections, and once again this proves that the Paraguay tax residency setup is absolutely audit-proof. What they're contesting is simply a bookkeeping error, which brings us to another important topic that clients often misunderstood: how tax audits are actually carried out. Even today, many people imagine that it works like this. The reality is very different, especially for Western tax authorities. Human involvement is minimal and is mostly reserved for cases under explicit investigations, like large multinationals and billionaires. But that's the exception, not the rule. Every country is well aware that the resources are limited and it is not possible to hire one tax agency employee for every 100 inhabitants, which would be more or less what is needed to allow each worker to investigate one person every 2 business days. And even in that case, there would not be enough staff to investigate all the businesses in the country. Here are some figures comparing the number of employees in various tax authorities with the total population. In the UK, the HMRC has 66,000 employees for a population of 69 million and 5.5 million businesses. The Canada Tax Revenue Agency has 59,000 employees for 41 million people and 4.7 million businesses. In France, the Direction Générale des Finances Publiques has 95,000 agents for 68 million people and 4.7 million businesses. The Australian Tax Office has 22,000 employees for 27 million inhabitants and 2.6 million businesses. In Italy, the Agenzia delle Entrate has 29,000 employees for a population of about 60 million and 4.1 million businesses. And Brazil has 27,000 employees hired by the Receita Federal for a population of 212 million people and 23.7 million businesses. Let's now suppose that each of them works 8 hours a day for 260 working days per year without breaks, without secretly playing Minecraft, and without ever getting sick. Let's also assume that none of these people spend any time on training and there are no managers of any kind, so every single employee, from the first to the last, is dedicated solely to reviewing the tax filings of individuals and businesses. Making the necessary calculations, here is how much time could be devoted to each individual person and business. In reality, most audits today are fully automated, as mine was. Algorithms do the work and humans only handle extremely complex cases and algorithm oversight. The easiest things to check are bookkeeping errors because automated checks can detect them instantly. The same goes for undeclared income deposited in CRS reporting countries. Automatic communication between private banks, central banks, and tax authorities makes it very simple to flag discrepancies between declared and received amounts. If there's a red flag for undeclared sums, it's easy to investigate for tax evasion. To determine if someone spends more or less than 183 days in a country, they mainly use airport and train entry data. Even in the EU, where there are no border checks, many countries now automatically scan the license plate of vehicles crossing borders. This is how Italy and France, for instance, have uncovered thousands of fake Monaco residencies in recent years. The system is far from perfect. If someone drives from Germany to the Netherlands in a rental car, for instance, an automatic plate check likely wouldn't identify the right driver. Anything that produces data easily read by algorithms is easy to audit. Anything that doesn't is much harder. This digital trail grows as tax authorities integrate more sophisticated data. In Spain, for example, one of our clients was flagged because they had an active gym membership. The gym just issued an invoice to someone listed as a non-resident, and this triggered a tax residency check asking for explanation. Now, if humans had been involved from the start, they would have quickly realized that the person had no real presence in Spain and that the case was dropped once the Paraguayan tax residency documents were submitted. The client had simply forgotten to cancel the auto renewal and hopefully got their money back from the gym.
Audits are just going to become more and more frequent as algorithms improve at their job and more data is fed into them for deeper cross-checks. Audits are part of life, and you should never fear them if you have a very well-structured, legal, transparent, 0% tax setup. Now, if you want to access the same strategy that helped me and countless of our clients legally pay 0% taxes, just book a call using the contact details that you will find below. Because remember, just living abroad or trying to hide your money in some weird banking jurisdiction isn't gonna fly in 2025. Other than that, my fine has already been paid, so life is good, and I'll see you guys in Paraguay.
It's time for the Superman moment. I feel like someone should be playing some music. I did tell Manu that I would organize her bucks. What's called hens do. This is it right now.
You gotta sort this out. Done.
I love that you had the sports socks underneath.
Hey, what's up, bro? They're Hawaiianas.
Nice. Are you guys Cinderella? The longest striptease of the history of striptease. Amazing.